You want about 90% of the weight in your front foot. 10% in the back foot's really just working more as a kickstand than anything. So it's going to be a four-part cycle. Cycle number one, I'm going to let this knee come forward. Cycle two, I'm going to hinge my hips forward as if I were doing a deadlift, right? So I'm just taking my body, hinging over. I'm not losing my good spinal alignment. Cycle number three, I'm gonna elevator down towards the floor, right? Still keep it about 90% of my weight in this foot. Cycle four, I push my shin back towards vertical before standing back into this starting position. So let's go over the mechanics again. Knee comes forward, hinge the hips, now I lower down. Now, if as you lower down, it's okay. You're gonna get this rotation as you lower down. That is okay. Then we go shin comes back towards vertical before extending through the hips. Knee comes forward. That way we load the quad. Hinge forward, belly button stays in. We've got nice thoracic extension. Then we're really going to load the quad and the glute as we drop that knee down. Then we engage this posterior chain by shifting the hip back. And then we drive back into this extension. Grab the distal end and we'll grab right at the hinge mark here. So you start with a square stance. You want to bend into your knees, push through the balls of your feet so you're sitting your hips back just a little bit, right? So we don't want to be in this position on the balls of our feet. We want to be pushing through the balls of our feet so our weight is loaded back and we've got this nice length through our posterior chain. So from here, the first thing you want to do is you want to pull the bar into your body as close as you can. So this arm's pulling, this arm is extending. Now from here, what we're going to do is we're going to flip the bar up. We're going to use our trunk and our hips to flip the bar up in kind of an isometric arm contraction. So from this position, we're going to extend the hips, keeping the core engaged. And then we're going to take this bar and we're going to extend it back over the shoulders. So you can see this is almost the opposite of the hyperextension slam because I'm kind of knees forward into the balls of my feet, but I'm not arched back. My hips are extended and then I'm extending through my thoracic spine, keeping my abdominal muscles engaged. Come back to my center of gravity, hinge my hips back forward, allow the bar to come back to the rack. Now you can see I pull to my left, but I push over my right. So again, weights back in my hips, belly buttons pulled in, very essential. Core muscles stay engaged. I'm using my hips, stabilizing with my trunk, bracing my arms, extending up here. And then from there, I'll press with my arms out over back behind my shoulder. Here, bring back, hinge, and relax back in. So in real time, go as slow as you need on this one in order to get the mechanics down. Then once you have the mechanics down, you can speed it up. I pull in, engage my hips into extension, keep my trunk muscles engaged, flipping the bar vertical, and then extending my arms back behind me. Turn back down and this plank will be modified. So we'll have the knees on the ground. So once you get into position or once you get yourself up on your knees and your elbows, you're going to tuck that tailbone under, pull your belly button in. From there, we're elongating the trunk or lifting the rib cage away from the abdomen. And then from there, what you're going to do, you keep that pelvis engaged. Don't let your back go back into that swayed position. And we're going to extend one leg up in the air without moving anything. If you're doing this exercise right, you're going to feel an extreme contraction in your glutes and your hamstrings. Obviously, your abdominal muscles will be working as well, but by keeping that tailbone tucked under and not allowing the pelvis to go back into that anterior position, recheck your position, hold, and extend that leg out. All right, for the retraction to row, you're going to start with a staggered stance, opposite foot, opposite hand in front. Start with your arm, or sorry, the front foot loaded up. So you'd be pushing through the ball of that foot. We got the belly button pulled in, the chest elevated. All the same principles apply. We retract the shoulder, then we extend the elbow or extend the arm, sorry. And then from there, what we'll do is keeping the pelvis in a neutral position, we'll start to rotate the torso. Now, as we start to rotate the torso, we're going to load up that back foot and then we're going to stride back. Then we'll return and reverse everything. So start with a retraction and then row the elbow, get the torso rotation. Now I'm pushing through this foot and I'm striding back here and then return. So I'm loaded up in my right, retract, get that elbow back in line. We should shoulder and elbow should be in line. And then we start to do that upper body rotation. The hips stay neutral. You're going to start to push through this foot, and that's where you're going to get your stride back from there. And then we return back to a starting position.